Crawford has the same, but I just feel like Crawford's ring eye coordination is better, and he has more fire in the body left. He wants it more, in my opinion.
Right. Crawford gonna have to stay consistent and win out. Gonna have to get ahead and stay ahead. You know what I mean? And then also looming is the controversy. Can Crawford win a close decision? I could never win a close decision.
But IQ, he understands the sport. He looks at it in a mental sense. He knows what he needs to do.
Lennox Lewis breaks down why Terence Crawford can beat Canelo, stressing that the fight is more mental than physical. He explains that Crawford's high boxing IQ, sharp movement, and ability to adapt give him the edge. According to Lewis, size won't be the deciding factor because Crawford's tactical approach and intelligence allow him to neutralize bigger opponents effectively.
He's got incredible talent, incredible IQ. He understands the sport. He looks at it in a mental sense. He knows what he needs to do to stay at the top and be at the top. He moves very well. He's a very elusive mover, and his work rate is high.
I won't ask you who's going to win the fight because I know it's a question you've probably been asked a million times, but I will ask you, do you think this fight goes the distance, or do you think this fight ends inside the distance?
Interesting. Really an interesting fight to look at.
Coach Bernie captures the essence of what makes Terence Crawford such a dangerous opponent. In his eyes, Crawford is not just the sharp puncher. He's a fighter whose precision and timing turn his shots into punishing blows few opponents can withstand. Bernie emphasizes that while Canelo Alvarez has a legendary resume, he's never faced anyone with Crawford's unique combination of hand speed, accuracy, and natural punching power. When Bernie says Crawford's hands are like bricks, it's a reflection of the raw strength Crawford carries even while moving up in weight.
I mean, a fight is always highly anticipated, and one this magnitude, you know what I'm saying? I think Canelo is hyped too because, they know that Bud brings a different element. And the guys that he's been fighting is now superstars. Bud is a superstar. It's a mega fight. It's an underdog fight, and like I said, I'm sure they anticipate, he has trouble with movers and slick boxers and stuff like that. So they're trying to see how he deals with that, Bud fans is, understandable. Canelo got the power, he got the experience, and, he's one of the faces of boxing. And so, it just breeds anticipation, want to see somebody do something great. And I think that's what everybody mostly counting on. It's a lot of hate, though. A lot of people want to see us lose, and the real ones want to see us win. You know what I mean? But, all in all,
This has created enormous anticipation among fans. The boxing world is buzzing with one burning question. How will Canelo, who has built his career on power and counter-punching, handle someone as elusive, unpredictable, and technically brilliant as Crawford? Unlike many of Canelo's past opponents, Crawford won't stand still or wait to be countered. His movement, agility, and tactical sharpness make him a puzzle. This fight isn't just about skills, it's about styles and reputations. For the first time in years, fans feel Canelo is facing an opponent who can challenge him on every level.
Well, Bud Crawford just hits hard anyway. He got fucking bricks for hands. You know what I mean? He got baseball mitts. His hands is big as a baseball mitt. So, then he's a sharp puncher. So you got to understand that Canelo hasn't fought a sharp puncher. Them guys wasn't sharp punchers. Magia, Berlanga, the guys, they not sharp punchers. You know what I'm saying? So when you got a sharp, it's a difference with the speed and the velocity that they're coming with. You know what I mean? If you can understand that. The quickness of the punches, the sharpness of the punches. These guys, you can see all their punches coming. You ain't gonna be able to see all Bud punches coming. You ain't gonna be able to see his punches coming, for real.
They have what, like one common opponent, Amir Khan?
Yeah.
Tell me, what do you think the difference is? Obviously, you've seen a highlight reel with with Canelo.
Amir Khan, who has fought both men, adds a unique perspective. While he respects Canelo's skill and achievements, Khan believes Crawford simply wants this fight more. In his view, Crawford's determination is unmatched, and that hunger could prove decisive. Khan notes that Crawford still has energy, sharpness, and motivation that surpass what Canelo can bring at this stage of his career. While Canelo has reached extraordinary heights, the wear and tear of fighting at the elite level has taken its toll. For Khan, this fight isn't just about skills. It's about who's willing to sacrifice everything to win. And right now, he believes that man is Crawford.
Great timing, great feints, moves well, whereas Crawford has the same, but I just feel like Crawford's ring eye coordination is better, and he has more fire in the body left. He wants it more, in my opinion. Whereas Canelo, in that last fight against the Cuban guy he fought, he just seems to me that that fire has just gone. Like, he was just getting the win and moving around and enjoying himself, which he can do, because at the end of the day, the guy, he's already cemented his legacy, so he can do that. So yeah, I got Crawford winning that fight.
And when you sparred him, when you were in the same camp with BOMAC, what was it like? You have any good stories about sparring him since you were an opponent?
See, when I fought him as a fight, I didn't know what to expect. But then obviously, when I sparred with him, I would try different things to really how would I be able to beat a guy like him? And I was working on different things, and the guy is very tricky. He's a guy that always keeps on adapting your style and also keep getting better and better as the fight goes on. So yeah, he's a very, very good fighter. I do like him because he came to my camp 2-3 times, drove up to spend like 2-3 weeks with me to just give me some advice and be there with me and win with me and train with me. And so yeah, that's why like them little things go a long way for me, and that's why I'll always support him and push him.
Trainer Stephen Breadman Edwards provides a reality check. He points out that Canelo's decision to spar Jaron BOXINGNEWS, a young, highly skilled fighter, is smart but ultimately symbolic. Sparring, Edwards explains, is not the same as a real fight. Fighters spar to test strategies or prepare for styles, but it doesn't replicate the pressure of a championship stage. For Edwards, Canelo sparring Ennis is less about finding a winning formula and more about preparing mentally and shaping public perception. He warns that Crawford's skill set can't be reduced to a sparring simulation. It's something Canelo will only truly face under the bright lights.
Charm, and don't do nothing in camp and then go look like $1 million in the fight. That's why fighters spend the kind of money they spend on sparring partners, because getting the look or simulating the intensity of how a fight is going to be is how you prepare for a fight. And the most important part of camp is sparring. So it didn't make me say that Canelo was going to win the fight, but it did make me say, damn, he's taking this fight serious, and that's a real good look. I respect the fact that he went out and got the best possible sparring he could find for Crawford to win this fight. I even respect when he did it, because if he would have got Boots early in camp, Boots would have probably beat his butt. You know what I mean? When you first come to camp and you're not sharp. So he got him a few weeks in the camp where maybe, what's how many weeks left for the fight? About 3 weeks left for the fight. This usually your peak time. So he got him about 3 weeks left in the camp so he can handle the work. Because again, you've been up to Philly and you've seen the work. Boots don't have bad days in the gym. He stays in the gym all the time. Yeah. So like you could just get him off the streets and he'll go 10 or 12 rounds in the gym. He don't have bad days. I'm like, I'm not just bragging. I'm not bragging about a kid that I don't train or he's not my son. I'm just telling the truth. Like, I haven't seen him have like an off day in the gym in like 10 years. You know how sometimes a guy don't look good and you be like, oh, okay, he not doing his best. He really don't have them days.
And
you know what I mean?
And the crazy part about it is he does more than 3-minute rounds and he never sits down. Like, never.
The symbolism of sparring Ennis is clear. Canelo is trying to replicate what he expects from Crawford in the ring. Ennis, like Crawford, is fast, versatile, and able to switch stances. Sharing rounds with him may give Canelo glimpses of what's coming. But analysts agree, no sparring partner can replicate Crawford's timing, adaptability, and unique rhythm. While Canelo may gain confidence from the experience, it's more about sending a message to fans than discovering the key to victory.
Moves, as Canelo has maybe not had as much experience with that since moving to 168. Usually he's the smaller guy fighting some of the bigger guys. But that's not all this is. This is a message that Canelo is looking to replicate exactly what Terence Crawford has in his arsenal, has in his tool set, because everybody has wanted to see the Boots Ennis versus Terence Crawford fight because it's a stylistic matchup that is very interesting. Both guys fight out of both stances. That's right. Boots will fight out of southpaw and orthodox. Both guys are very good using their defense to create offense. Boots, one of the best at Philly shelling, catch countering, being able to do it out of both stances, has a beautiful check hook out of southpaw. As orthodox fighters throw their left hook, he comes over the top with his. And why would Canelo be looking for someone that could throw a beautiful lead hook and a backhand as a counter punch, rolling with their defense back to their offense? Oh, wait, because that's what Terence Bud Crawford does so well. Boots is explosive. He's got great counterpunch timing. He's got good awareness. His feet are good. He can walk you onto punches. He can lead the dance going first, not just looking for his counterpunches, but underrated, I think, in his aggression to lead the exchanges. This is a perfect get for Canelo. And I'm not even trying to play the one side or the other. Canelo fans, Crawford fans, you're going to think whatever you want to think. But the reality is, getting this kind of sparring is a massive deal for Canelo. It's going to give him probably the best look you could get for Terence Bud Crawford outside of sparring Terence Bud Crawford. I can't understate how important even just a couple of days working with Jaron Boots Ennis is going to be for Canelo, just to see a bit of the tempo, a bit of that switching of stance, because let's be honest, there's not many guys that Canelo has fought that have fought out of both stances and done it as fluidly as Boots Ennis or as Bud Crawford will do in their fight.
Another concern for Canelo is the noticeable decline in his speed and movement. Now in his 30s, he's slower on his feet, which could be a major weakness against someone as quick and agile as Crawford. Canelo's strengths, timing, counterpunching, and cutting off the ring depend heavily on his legs. If he can't keep up with Crawford's fluid movement and angles, he risks chasing a target he can't catch. This presents a tactical dilemma. Power means little if you can't land it. Analysts are watching closely to see whether Crawford's mobility will expose this gap in Canelo's game.
Although he's holding back, you can tell. People are saying his legs, they look slower than usual, and Canelo has always been someone who's always had very slow feet. Even when he was down at 154 pounds. Something that plagued him throughout the course of his career is he's just had very slow feet. You know, like cement sometimes on them. That's one of the weaknesses of Canelo. And obviously now, he's, how old is Canelo? 35 years old, 34, 35. They're going to be, like, they were slow in your mid-20s. They're definitely going to be slow now in your mid-30s. Before we follow up on that, just have a look there really, really quickly on screen. Please, if y'all could, hit the like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. It literally takes like 2 seconds. We're only a couple of subs off 26,300. We want to get 30k. Please, if you could help me out, I'd appreciate it. But yeah, Canelo's always had slow feet. But I think this is the bigger, I think a lot of people are more worried about this now because he's going to be in there essentially he's going to be in there against someone who is really, I mean, it's obviously Crawford's last fight was at 154 pounds, but like, he's really a welterweight. You know, he did look a little bit undersized at 154. He's going to look completely undersized at 168. But the size difference, the size, you know, thing out of the equation, the speed difference is going to be vast, because Crawford's always had good feet. He's always had fast feet. And if you think Canelo's feet look slow against someone like William Skull, a big, bulky 168 pounder who at the end of the day was just running around the ring, he's going to look even slower against Crawford. And a lot of people are saying, just based upon that training footage, oh, it's now a 50-50 fight. You know, I'm running with Terence Crawford, or that's who I'm going to go with.
Still, analysts caution that Crawford is stepping into uncharted territory. Moving up to face a naturally bigger fighter like Canelo is no small challenge. Canelo has thrived at higher weight classes, defeating champions with proven size, strength, and durability. His comfort and experience at these levels could test Crawford in ways he's never experienced. Crawford's advantages in speed and tactics may collide head-on with Canelo's raw strength and power.
This is what scares me going into this Terence Crawford fight. These are the guys Canelo's typically fighting. This is his last opponent, William Skull. William Skull is far from a great opponent. When we're talking about sheer size and strength, Canelo is just way more built and used to taking on larger guys and overpowering them. Look at William Skull. This guy is jacked. He's huge, man. And that makes me think, like, if Canelo has been taking punches from guys like this, I'm not saying William Skull in particular, but guys like William Skull, the size of William Skull, and he's been dropping them, stopping them, beating them around the ring, overpowering, over-muscling, just everything, physically demanding over them. That makes me think, man, Terence Crawford, I don't know what, you gonna have to come with some heat, dog. Look at Canelo. This guy is half the size of William Skull. There's nothing cut about him. There's nothing popping out, bulging. There's nothing. Look at this. This is insanity. That's what I'm really like, dude. I don't know. Canelo could go in there and walk through Terence Crawford like a hot knife through butter. That is definitely on the table here. He gonna have to be really crafty, really savvy, and have to put on some amazing work from the outside. If he tries to sit there and walk through Canelo, he gonna hit a brick wall, dog. If guys built like this ain't walking through Canelo, even when Canelo looks like this, Terence Crawford ain't doing it, man. I gotta be honest.